That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? F1 is now in theaters. It actually exceeded its tracking by just a little bit, made $55 million opening weekend worldwide, pushing $150 million opening weekend, which is good because it's an expensive movie. They're going to need to make more. But one of the benefits of this being an Apple film is Apple gets to immediately take it when it's done its theatrical run and immediately then benefit from it being on its own streaming service. See how that works? So this has been already kind of bona fide for Apple. They've already declared it. This is a hit for us. And good for them, because other than the fact that I felt that the movie was a little bit too long, it's a fun movie, man. If you've not seen F1 yet, this is a fun movie. This is an experiential movie, and Brad Pitt is great in it. And as they're now saying here in the headlines, just coming from Variety, Apple has a box office hit with F1. What's next for the studio's movie strategy? And a little bit down later in the article, they mention that, maybe to nobody's surprise, they're already developing a sequel.
Yeah.
They're developing the sequel already. Now, this is the first kind of theatrically win for Apple. They did that Napoleon movie. Number one, the movie wasn't very good.
Right.
And it did not do all that well. Then what was the one they did before
Flower
that?
Moon.
What's that?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon. A good movie.
Good movie.
Also
didn't do
too
well.
long.
Yeah.
Nobody went to go see it.
Right.
And so they've had some struggles. This is the movie they've been waiting for. This is the event they've been waiting for. That this is a hit for us, and that's why you see every Apple thing. They even just did a big Apple presentation. They started the whole damn thing off with Tim Cook doing an F1 thing. Like, so the Apple itself is pushing this movie like crazy. And now they're talking about doing a sequel. Now, just last week, we talked about the fact that Top Gun Maverick and F1 director Joseph Kosinski kind of teased that what he really wants to do is an F1 sequel that is a crossover with Days of Thunder, and have his Top Gun Maverick star, Tom Cruise, return as his character from Days of Thunder, and say that him and Brad Pitt's character have a history and a bit of a rivalry, and there's your sequel, to which I said, yes, please. That sounds
that's
great.
such the no-brainer sequel of all time, and they've got Jerry Bruckheimer produced both films.
Yeah, that's right. So,
So Tom Cruise is like, I'm in. I'm sure.
And listen, and we just saw Brad Pitt on the red carpet of F1. And who did we see right beside Brad Pitt on all the pictures? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was all over that F1 red carpet, posing with Brad Pitt, all that kind of stuff. Now look, an F1 sequel does not need to be a crossover with Days of Thunder. But it seems like I'm the guy, Rob, whenever people write in, John, would you like to see this crossover with that? I said, no, that sounds ridiculous. But this is one. This is one that not just makes sense, not just fits, but could be an absolute knock it out of the park kind of thing. So look, I don't know when they're saying that they're developing a sequel, that they're actually developing a sequel as a crossover with Days of Thunder. I sure hope they are. With or without it, though, it does seem like a no-brainer if you've seen the movie, and I know you have, Rob, that you want to see what happens to Sonny next. Anyway, what do you think about this?
I do. Look, I think it's a great idea to do a sequel to this. Why not? Because, the potential, basically, this is kind of a Western.
In many ways.
It's your old grizzled old-timer that he started out, his career in F1 got snuffed early on after a crash. He's done every other race. Look, you know what I think the dynamic would be in this movie? You flip it around from Interview with a Vampire, or you keep that dynamic in the sense that Tom Cruise is the villain, and he's this guy that Sonny is now just, hey, he's won every kind of a race. They have some history together, and then Cole Trickle comes back and is like, well, if you can do it, I can do it, and you make him the heavy, you make him and look, the audience is going to love Tom Cruise, but let Tom Cruise play the villain. He's been playing Ethan Hunt. Give him a dark heel turn where he can be the dick.
So you'd like to see him as the Sacha Baron Cohen character from Talladega Nights.
That's right. I mean, let him sink his teeth into it, because we've seen him being the good guy, and he can have so much fun. I mean, the thing is this, though. If they have him play Cole Trickle, he doesn't have to play Cole Trickle, because they'd have to work out the rights. But he could come and play the bad guy, and a truly bad guy. He can be, I mean, Sonny could be reckless.
I know it. I know it. You know how in the movie, tiny spoiler that I think they kind of hint at in the trailer anyway. You know how back in the 80s he had that horrible car wreck? What if Tom Cruise was the driver that caused it? And now you fast forward it now to the...
There you go. And maybe that's why he went to NASCAR and Cole Trickle went to NASCAR and left F1. And that's why, yeah, so that why not? Because you could have that great flashback scene and show that race.
Sure.
You know, de-age him. I think it's a great idea.
So
you just solve the problem.
let's get down to the practicality of it, though. Okay, so this is an expensive movie that they made, like $200+ million to make it. It's good start, 150 million worldwide already. We'll come close to breaking even, maybe make a little bit, and then Apple gets to benefit of it being an Apple Plus, and this is going to be a big hit for them on Apple Plus as well. So everything else aside, this isn't going to be a $1 billion film, right? Do you make a sequel to this film? Like all blocking out all the other noise, do you make a sequel to F1, do you think?
Honestly, you'd have to wait and see how it earns out. I don't think we can decide. Like, they're going to make it because Apple doesn't care because they have so much money and you know, they don't care. But I think they should care. And I think they look at this. This is a legitimate hit. They partnered up with one of the greatest F1 drivers who's a producer on this movie. They got Jerry Bruckheimer. They really need to, if they're going to make theatrical a viable business model, they have to treat this movie that way. And if it ends up making, it was expensive. You know, if it makes $600 million or something, I'd say, yeah, go ahead. It's a no-brainer. You put Tom Cruise in it, you get your F1 with a vengeance, or your F1 harder, or whatever you call it. Can't call it F2, but whatever. F1 again.
I don't think F1 harders.
F1. Well, it's like
2F21.
Yeah, it's just. But you got. I mean, it's got to be. I think they should treat this as a real movie, not just as Apple has.
I mean, they both could be in their 70s by the time they make this. Maybe they're just sitting down and playing Mario Kart. I can see that, dude. They're sitting down there. Hey, your goddamn banana. Like, I think that would be, I'd be down for that.
I just would love to see these two guys go out. Like like Brad Pitt turning F1 into a combat sport was one of the great things about the movie.
Oh,
you got to build this for combat.
It was so good.
And the shenanigans that went into winning races and things. I love all that. And it turns out that Cole Trickle's the master. He can out combat Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt knows it.
What was, God, I'm dating myself. Okay, I was a kid. There used to be like a Hanna-Barbera.
The Wacky
show.
Racers?
Was that what it was called?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
When they get all the Hanna-Barbera characters,
Yeah.
they'd have these
Would it
competitions.
surprise you to know
You have it on Steel.
that I
you
have
worked
those
on
on? No, I have them on Blu-ray.
No.
Warner
Not
Archive
surprised me.
released the Wacky Races on Blu-ray.
Oh my God.
The
I
Wacky Racers.
I vaguely remember those as a kid. Oh God. All right.
Those
anyway.
are fun. Those were almost like the
Cannonball
Run,
yeah.
but animated. Yeah.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Stitch Fix. Let's be honest, shopping is not my thing. I've wasted way too much of my time either in stores or scrolling for clothes, only to end up with stuff that doesn't fit or just, doesn't work. See, that's why I use Stitch Fix. You take a quick style quiz, your size, your vibe, your budget, and boom, you're paired with a real human stylist who curates pieces just for you. They send you a fix box with clothes actually fit for your life. Stuff you'll wear to work, on weekends, or wherever. It saves me time, helps me look great, and I never have to step foot in a store. You try everything on at home, keep what works, and send back the rest. Free shipping and returns, no subscription required. Oh, and your first fix? The try-on is totally free. So if you're tired of the endless shopping grind, this is your sign to try Stitch Fix. Seriously, it's style without the stress. Head to stitchfix.com/Campea to get $20 off your first order, and they'll waive your styling fee. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? They're talking about that Apple is already kind of developing an F1 sequel at this point. Could they go the way that Joseph Kosinski was kind of envisioning of having a crossover with Days of Thunder as a sequel? Or maybe just another story about Sunny. Is it a good idea? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.